Welcome to PiSeas Tarot, and I am your host, Mimi Lightseer. Your business is my business. Today, we will dive into your business with a timeless relationship reading, which means it could be platonic, professional, or romantic. In this session, we will explore the overall energy of your reading, obtain cosmic insights to identify the topics, spill the tea on the energies involved, uncover the positives and the negatives while revealing the lessons that you need to learn, and suggest actions for healings and the best possible outcomes. Remember, this is a general reading, and you have found it when this message is needed. Please take what resonates and leave the rest. Remember, I am LGBTQ plus friendly, using pronouns for storytelling purposes. Lastly, please like, rate, subscribe, and comment. Let me know how this message is connecting with you. And without further ado, let's get into your business. Hey, good morning, beautiful souls. Welcome to PiSeas Tarot, everybody. I am Mimi Lightseer, and over here at PiSeas Tarot, your business is my business, and ooh, child, we're going to get into somebody's business. Tell me, how y'all doing this morning? Good morning, good morning, good morning. Listen, Spirit has pulled up a chair, y'all, because we about to get all the way into somebody's business. And ooh, child, the tea is steeping this morning, and Spirit is ready to serve, y'all. Good morning, good morning, good morning. Good morning to my guppies swimming early in the light. Good evening to my night owls and my graveyard shift folks. Big old fat love for all of my people that are coming from international around the world, joining the cousins up over here. Good morning, good morning, good morning. If you are new to PiSeas Tarot, okay, go ahead and put a star in the chat so we can know who you are and show you some love. And if you've been here before, welcome home, cousin. You know what to do. Drop that fish in the chat, and so that we can go ahead and slide into our soul circle, y'all, this morning. And we want to make sure that we give a warm welcome to all of our newbies and celebrate the return of our spiritual family over here at this beach. It might be dirty today, but we over here. We over here, y'all. All right, so this is how we's moving today, or we flowing, so get comfortable, all right? We're going to start this out with an energy cleanse, okay? So that's going to be our gentle moment to just center ourselves with some breath work and some sound. Then we'll get into some divine insights, which will consist of either spirits, downloads, dreams, or even an earworm or two. And I got an earworm this morning for y'all, so then we're gonna get into this overall energy reading and spill out what's bubbling underneath the surface. Then I will do the tarot card confirmation, pull the cards to validate what Spirit has been whispering, and then we'll close this out with some final guidance / steps or final thoughts from your girl Mimi before we swim off. All right, so if y'all ready to get into this, I want you to go ahead and find those cleaning emojis. Personally, I like the scrub brush. Good morning, good morning, good morning, everybody. I like the scrub brush. So put down your favorite brush, scrub brush, toothbrush, vacuum, broom, whatever it is, and let's get ready for this. All right, y'all ready? Here we go. Now, before we move forward, let's take a minute to get grounded and aligned. We're going to take in a couple of deep breaths. We're going to hold it and exhale very, very slowly. All right, here we go. Again, inhale clarity and peace, and exhale tension and distractions. All right, here we go. And lastly, we're breathing in alignment and releasing any and everything that we don't need to carry with us in this moment. All right, here we go. Beautiful. Now let's get ready to clear up the energy and to create an open space for Spirit to step in. We're going to do that with our girl Boo Boo here with the sound bowl. All right, here we go. We're going to do this again because she started out strong and she just went mute. Divine Spirit, we invite you into this space. Wrap us in your protection and guidance. Surround us with your light and your love, and allow this reading today to be clear, accurate, and delivered in the best and highest good for all of those who are involved. May this moment bring insight, clarity, but most of all, truth. Thank you. Amen. And I say, all right, y'all, let's get ready to shift gears and prepare for a little fun, a whole lot of truth, and some deep insight. As a quick and gentle reminder, this is a safe space, and your honesty and openness, and most of all, your laughter, are always welcome here, okay? We have all been a fool in love before, so baby, today just may be your turn, and ain't nobody judging you if I call you out just a little bit, all right? If you're ready for spirit to start cooking, all right, go ahead and drop those scrambled egg emojis in the chat, because it's time for us to transition and get into this reading. So drop those scrambled eggs, those cooking emojis, or scrambled eggs, because it's time for us to get into this. All right, here we go. Now, each day before we gather, I always take a minute to tap in and to sit quietly with spirit and just listen and reflect upon the energies that are moving throughout the collective. And sometimes it's a download, sometimes it's a vision, and sometimes it's just a regular song stuck in my head that refuses to go away. And today, this little earworm that I am hearing is very, very interesting. And I'm not going to hold you. I'm definitely struggling with this song today because I'm trying to make sense of it. But this is originally sang by Roberta Flack, and I know most of my people like that is like your grandmama age, right? So I'm gonna skip Roberta Flack version and go straight to the Fugees version, which is a little bit more relatable, and that's where most of you may know this song from anyway, okay? However, I'm hearing Lauryn Hill singing. I heard he sang a good song. I heard he had a style. So I came to see him and listen for a while, and there he was, this young boy, stranger to my eyes, strumming my pain with his finger, singing my life with his words, killing me softly with his song. Killing me softly. Okay? Now, I'm going to be honest with you. I don't know what in the world this has to do with anything, because I'm like, huh? What? You know, but that's what I'm hearing this morning, okay? So I have to ask, has somebody been, taking you out softly? Has somebody been taking you out softly? If you feel like something has been sucking you dry, go ahead and put your hand up in the chat. If something has just been sucking you dry quietly, you came to it, it looked good, it felt good, it sounded good, you started tasting it and diving in, and it's just like, whoa, it wasn't good. I like to give the analogy all the time about buying fruit out of season, how, the people, they done got their little tricks right up their sleeve where they can create genetically modified foods and mess with stuff and make things look like it's seasonal when it's not. And you get home and you be all excited about eating them strawberries, and you bite in, and then it's just nasty. It's all get out. And you just be like, ew. Like, and I don't know if you like me or not, but I take it back to the store and tell them I want my money back. Wasn't good. Ain't nobody paying you for no nasty strawberries, all right? So, with that being said, whether it's a lyric, a phrase, a feeling, or a spiritual prompt, know that if it landed here today, it is for a reason. And somebody may have needed this reminder. Somebody may have needed this confirmation. Maybe that somebody is just you and you confused and try to figure it out, all right? If y'all ready to get into this, I want you to go ahead and drop those tea kettles in the chat, tea kettles in the chat, tea kettles in the chat. Because, baby, I don't know what spirit got to say, but we got to get ready to get into this tea, all right? Here we go. All right, y'all, let's pour this tea, shall we? Spirit got something to say. I'm telling you. I promise you that. When we're talking about energy, it's important to remember that spirit speaks to us in many languages. Sometimes it's through emotions, patterns, dreams, feelings, peoples, and even silence. Sometimes it could be signs, synchronicities, and wonders, coincidences, repeated colors. For me right now, that color is green, okay? And I've been sharing it with you guys a lot. Like green is like my color right now, especially like a jade green or like a money, like a deep green, right? So today, the overall energy is what? What's the overall energy this morning, Spirit? Some of you may be feeling very chilly, uncertain. Okay, let me say that. Some of you guys may be feeling very chilly and very uncertain very anxious about this reading. I feel like somebody in the chat is new to this. You've never been here before. You've never tapped into one of these readings before, especially my reading, and you're a little bit nervous and apprehensive about what I have to say. If that's you, you can just go ahead and throw a winking face in the chat. You're welcome here. Welcome. All right. If I can go ahead and, shuffle the cards. All right, Spirit, what messages do you have for us today? Tender embrace. All right, tender embrace. And we have the elephants here. Now, when I tell you I love elephants, okay, I love elephants. All right, I love elephants. And elephants are funny. Okay, I love animals, period. But elephants are funny, especially like juvenile elephants, and they like to play, and they are just like humans. Okay, they're like human children. They do stuff to bully each other, they do stuff to play with each other, like they'll kick each other, especially like if you have siblings. Oh my gosh, they are so funny. And so with this tender embrace, I'm getting like a playful energy, like an innocence that is there, but also one that's there of love. It's all love. Okay. Thank you, Temperance, for my gift. So there is some type of sense of feeling and notion of there being love here. Like it's all love. It's nothing. It's no animosity. It's no hate. It's none of that. And sometimes when you get into relationships with people, let me just ask y'all this question. Have you ever had a relationship with somebody that is truly and genuinely all love? Like if you've experienced that before, go ahead and put a red heart in the chat. But it is definitely like it's all love. Even though you may have difficult moments with this person, even though you may find yourself having challenges and obstacles, it's all love. It's all good. It's all of everything, okay? That's what I'm getting about this connection this morning. And I think that's what makes you so nervous, because your feelings are very valid. They're very real, but trying to understand how they're making you feel is a little bit confusing, okay? But it's all love, all right? The truth for today is judgment. I understand that everyone has their own unique path and challenges, okay? So this is about judgment. Either you are judging them or they are judging you. But this is about learning how to accept, okay, what is. Everybody has their challenges and their shortcomings. I know that when we talk about people and think about things, we think very linearly. We think the world is all screwed up and we're just perfect angels. And the reality is that is not true. That is not true. We all got our stuff, and it's even more dynamic when you understand your stuff for you. You own your own stuff. You have that level of self-awareness. You're like, what I did was funky. I shouldn't have did that. It was foul. But, I need to address that. Okay. And that's like a beautiful place to be in when you can say that about yourself. Okay. And nobody got to tell you, nobody got to tell you. All right. Guys of the Hidden Realms, what messages for us today? A way out of the weeds, a clear way out, multitasking and getting organized. Okay. It feels like, with this card coming out, it feels like there is a period of recalibration in this relationship or in this connection. A lot of people are separated from their person, for whatever reason, but it definitely feels like there was a stopping pattern there was a stopping point, a breaking point in this relationship to recalibrate and regather and reorganize as individuals so that you can come back together and be better people. Like, you like each other. This person brings out a lot of love, a lot of joy, a lot of excitement, a lot of positivity your way. But it was also some things about them that was a little bit raggedy that they needed to clean up. And if it isn't them, it could be you. But it feels like you got to a point in this connection where this person was not bringing out the best of you. They weren't bringing out the best in you. And so it got to the point of where it's like, okay, we need to just take a break. Like, I like the way this is making me feel. I love the way I love the way you make me smile, you make me feel, you bring laughter, you bring all these positive feelings and emotions, but you also bring up a heap of negative things that are unhealthy. And it kind of can feel a little bit toxic, but there was a maturity here in this situation that either you or this person brought this to the forefront and said, you know what, I think we need to hit a pause here. I think we need to take a break. I think we need to take a step back and just recalibrate and reorganize and get ourselves together about what the bigger picture is. Okay. I need to take a step back. Ruby says, first time here. Why do I feel like you're talking straight to me? Yeah, it's interesting because I'm telling you that it is one of those things where it's like, what is the bigger picture? What is the end goal? Where are we going? What are we hoping to achieve? It's all love here. But you need to work on you. I need to work on me. And then we need to come back together so that we can do this and be collaborative and be healthy and have relief and be a constructive couple that is growing towards ecstasy, growing towards that unity and that oneness. But we can't get there if everything is so topsy-turvy and lukewarm right now on the inside, okay? If you understand what I'm saying, go ahead and put a green heart in the chat, okay? Just flood the chat with green hearts, all right? Now, what messages does Spirit have for us? Support. The right help will come, okay? Allow me, divine beloved, to let go, relax, and enjoy the process, knowing that it is safe to offer all to your capable hands. The right actions are always shown and the right help always comes. Now, let me point something out to you, okay? You see how she's in this boat taking a break? She's relaxing. She is so unbothered. And you notice that the waters are very choppy. It's very turbulent going on. It is very turbulent, but she's not worried about a doggone thing. You see this? Sis is asleep. She like, I know where my help comes from. Now, what I want to point out to you guys is this. With 3 of these cards, it's a whole lot of green in the background, which deals with the heart chakra and how you give and receive love. But then we also have purple here, which talks about that third eye and trusting and waiting for things to be opened, revealed, and exposed to you. Okay. So there is a deep level of trust that is present here in this moment. All right. If you know that you've been heavily relying on your intuition to guide you during this time, I want you to put the little all-seeing eye in the emoji in the chat. All right. All-seeing eye emoji in the chat. Now, how is this showing up for us, Spirit? How is this showing up in everyday life? Manifesting. Okay, and here goes a green candle. Manifesting. Okay. Didn't I tell y'all taking a step back to try to figure out what the bigger picture is and to work towards that goal? Okay. This is something that you're manifesting. You're working very hard, very diligent, doing your soul's purpose to manifest the version of you that you want, the version of your love life that you want. Not being afraid of your own shadow, looking in the mirror, being honest with yourself about what this looks and feels like. Or are some of you afraid of your own shadow, and that's what's causing the problem? Now, as we dig into this energy and begin to tune into the people that are involved, yes, we talking about them too. I want you to stay focused on what resonates. Leave the rest and let it float away like it's not yours. Okay, if it's not yours and it don't fit, don't make it. All right. I'm dead serious. So these feelings could either be the feelings of you and your person. All right, so here we go. Thank you, Tempter, for my gift. Tempter says, I've been manifesting us together. Moving Man says, got a green candle on my dinner with something and it cut off. And Jabba says, green and purple are my favorite colors. All right, moving just came out. So change of residence, moving in with your partner. So it's interesting because I feel as though this is a part of the end goal. It's like how, for some of you, this may not land with everybody, but for one person in particular, your living habits were a main point of contention in the relationship. And it could be because of conflicting schedules. Like somebody's always, you're missing each other going and coming, or someone feels like you're always rushing, you're a little bit messy, you're not as tidy as they would like for things to be. That's common when people get to know each other and try to move in with one another. But it feels like to me that there is a disconnect in expectations about living quarters, but that's something that you need to work on as well to be prepared to be able to move in with them. Like, you know how boyfriend, girlfriend, or whatever your dynamic is, y'all stay together a lot. And Ruby says, you are talking to me. He lived in Washington and I lived in California. She put that in all caps, so that's why I'm yelling. That is a huge part of why this has become an issue. Okay, it's like, how do I become a better version of myself to where we don't have to have these conditions or these circumstances? Okay. And here's the thing. I don't care if you OCD and your person, you know, your person not OCD. You just got to be OCD about your stuff and let your person be your person, because that ain't gonna change. Those are just habits. Those are DNA embedded things in people's brains. Okay, they're never gonna unlearn how to be more tidy. Like, they're just not. They might do it for you every blue moon or be considerate of one or two things. I give the example of my mom. Every time she comes, she moves my paper towel. And I don't understand for the life of me why you got to move the whole roll of paper towel. Just get the piece of paper towel that you need off the rack and dry your hands. She got to go move the whole thing, and then she never puts it back. And that's what gets on my nerves. I come in the house, the paper towel moved. You know, every time she washed her hands, because I have put it back and then she has moved it back to where she wanted to be. Drives me up a wall. But that's an illustration of what I'm talking about, okay? Jabba says he works AM, I work PMs. It's hard. Yeah. All right. So let's get into this. Drives me up a wall, y'all. I'd be like, yo. Okay. Ask for help. Okay. This is going back to the support. Help will come your way. Ask for help. You are being asked to request help from another. You don't need to deal with this issue alone. There may be other people who want to help you. It's up to you to bravely ask for their support. This is a sign of strength to reach out and do that today. Now, what came to mind with this is therapy, okay? One of you in this connection, it could be you or your person, they have, I'm hearing a trauma issue, a post-traumatic stress disorder, or post-traumatic response, a trauma response, okay? And they need to work on that because that is manifesting in the relationship in a negative way. Okay. It is damaging and compromising the relationship. So therapy may have been a point of contention because you keep recommending therapy to them, or either they're recommending therapy to you and you're kind of apprehensive about what therapy would do. Let me tell you, therapy works wonders. I know it's expensive, but I would strongly advise, if that is you, that you go ahead and get into some therapy. If you can't afford therapy, look at a counselor, because you have some counselors who are just as effective as therapy. It could also be a person in your spiritual community, or like an elder or something like that, that you can help with, that can help you with your mental mind state. Okay. But this is something that is good for you, because this is going to help you understand and open up your eyes and better enrich and prepare yourself to manifest the outcome that you want in the end with this person. Okay. Release. As I said, that release. Okay. Release past burdens and embrace new beginnings. Okay. Now, what's interesting is when I picked up this deck, the butterfly with transformation was at the bottom. Now we have the butterflies releasing from the cage. Okay. I was about to say crate. Now, you know, I'm a dog owner, but this is about you releasing, you or your person releasing. So that goes back to therapy. I also feel like one of you struggles with trust issues, which is the bigger call out here about the post-traumatic stressful situation that has occurred, that has embedded upon you trust issues, right? There's a whole lot of trust issues here. And I will tell you that you cannot have a relationship of any kind without without trust, right? Which goes back to confidence. And if you missed yesterday's reading, I strongly encourage you go back on YouTube at Mimi Lightseer and watch yesterday's reading, because we talked about having trust, confidence, faith, and being optimistic versus being pessimistic, lack of trust, lack of faith, and not wanting something. Okay. And here's the thing. Everybody's been hurt before. Okay. Everybody's been hurt before, which is why therapy is good. So you can work through those things, which is why I make the recommendation that you read the book, The Inner Work of Relationships by Matt and Ash, because it talks about people's trauma bonds, their trauma wounds, and how that can be very destructive and cause suffering in relationships. Okay. So I am telling you all of these things for a reason. Okay. Because this is so radical to how you can be in a relationship. You can't be in a relationship if you lack trust. You can't be in a relationship if you lack security. You can't be in a relationship if you lack confidence, if you lack faith and believing. And that's part of the reason why you guys are still apart, because not only are there circumstantial issues, but whatever the circumstantial issue is, it continuously embeds this perpetual notion that something or someone is doing something wrong, when really they're doing what they know to do to take care of themselves. It just perpetuates that insecurity. Okay. So it's difficult, right? And this is all you know. One person, this is all you know, and that's all they know, right? And there has to be an unlearning so that you can learn how to be together. Okay. Spilling the beans, revealing the secrets. The cats are out of the bags, untrustworthy. I just talked about that distrust. Okay. And I feel like you have not been honest about this and how this really makes you feel. Okay. If you feel like spirit is talking to you this morning and you feel like the tea is hot, I want you to put the fire emoji in the chat. Whoop. All right. I feel like somebody works a lot. And I feel like the person who doesn't work as much as this other person, that is what the cause of insecurity is. It's like, I was at work. And it's like, yeah, okay, yeah. Yeah, right. I believe it. Not. You know what I mean? And they really truly were at work. That could be the case for some of you, but not all. The other person that works a lot has money issues. They have like a strong fixation with having money, and they always feel like they don't have a lot. But when you really look at their bank account, they always got money in their account, but they yet and still continue to feel like they don't have enough. They have an obsession with money, okay? A strong obsession with money, which is why they won't stop working all the time. All right? They just feel like they'll never have enough. As I said, that ignoring comes out. So you don't feel validated. You don't feel wanted. You don't feel desired. You don't like, the work schedule is a huge issue right now. It is a huge issue. Okay. Because you feel ignored, which further perpetuates the narrative or the ideal or notion that they're cheating, because it just doesn't make sense. And it may just be a disconnect in your love languages at this point. Okay. It could be just a disconnect. You may be more of a quality time person and they are not, you know, they're an active service person, you know, so that could be it as well as to where some of this disconnect is. But, they're not ignoring you intentionally, but that's how that makes you feel, which goes back to why therapy is important. Okay. Look, y'all, fighting, trust issues, one-sided and detached. Didn't I just say that? If you just heard me say that, put an ear in the chat. If you literally just heard me say that, put an ear in the chat. There is a lot of fighting going on in this because of these trust issues, right? Ruby is over here typing in all caps. She said, wow, shaking my head. You are definitely talking to me. Listen, I can't help it, but it is funny because she yelling at me with all caps. Y'all know when y'all be sending stuff in all caps, y'all yelling. Wow. I'm just giving you a hard time. All right. Tempter says you're talking about me. Listen. Y'all know how this go. All right. What lies beneath all of this? What lies beneath all of this? I'm mad Toxic was just trying to fall out. Which goes back to why you or your person needs help. Okay, you need to go talk to somebody about this. And really work on those issues. All right. Burning evidence. Okay. This ain't helping. This ain't helping at all. Okay. Burning evidence. That's all I'm going to say. Something came up. I'm seeing like a journal, which is on there, but I'm seeing like a journal. Somebody writes down their thoughts and their feelings a lot. And this other person may have come across this evidence. And oh God, this almost kind of reminds me of the TV show Sex Life. If you have never seen it, you need to see it. Because it is a vibe, okay? It is a vibe. But yeah, all right. Last card here. Start going ahead and dropping them zodiac signs in the chat. Start dropping those zodiac signs in the chat because I want to know whose business we about to get into, okay? Losing sleep, worried, replaying events about you, which is going back into what we were just talking about with the journal. All right. Someone is journaling so that you guys can start getting these thoughts and feelings out about this person. All right. So here we go. Who is person A? Person A is the person who needs to release. All right. They need to release the past burdens and embrace a new beginning. They do need to ask for help. Okay. They need to spill the beans and come forth and be honest and be sincere about how things are making them feel. They need to be honest about the fact that this is making them feel uncomfortable. And I feel like they have not been in a place or position before, whether this is you or that person. Person A has never been in a position before where they've had to confront their authentic feelings. So that's how you know this person loves this other person. There is, like I said in the very beginning, It is all love. It is all love, okay? Now, person B coming in here, because you are ignoring this person unintentionally, that is creating a lot of fighting, a lot of bickering, a lot of trust issues. Things feel one-sided and you are detached, okay? We have losing sleep here, all right? So like they are truly worried and replaying things, thinking about how things are ending between you. Like they want, again, this person works a lot, and in their mind they feel as though when they have enough money, then they'll be able to move forward in life, and you know, when they get their money together, then they'll be able to buy the house, and then they'll be able to do, you know, do the long-term thing. And it has a lot to do with what the bigger picture is for them. But for them, they can't see the bigger picture because they're just looking at the here and now instead of understanding and recognizing that the bigger picture happens over time. It's not going to happen in the next 3 years. It's not, you know, it's a longer delay, right? Whew, y'all, if y'all ready, I want y'all to go ahead and put those zodiac signs in the chat, because honey, I want to know whose business are we about to get in. All right, remember, okay, remember all your placements, consider it, because I do my readings for sun, moon, Venus, and rising signs. And if you are a cross watcher, you know you still welcome up in this space too, because we sure finna get into somebody's business. All right, here we go. Now, the real question is, whose business is this? Y'all ready? Put those magnifying glasses in the chat. Magnifying glasses in the chat. We listen, we zoom in, we listen, we don't judge, but we sure finna get up in your business. We're gonna talk about you just a little bit to your face, and then we're gonna come on up out of this thing. All right. All right, so let's find out whose business is this today. All right, person A. Cancer, Scorpio, Pisces. Cancer, Scorpio, Pisces. If you or your person is a Cancer, Scorpio, Pisces, I want you to put the water emoji down in the chat, okay? You're coming in as the moon, which is major arcana. These are life-changing things. Remember, I told you guys, this is going to therapy and getting the help that you need is going to change your life holistically, okay? This is about illusions, mystery, dreams, intuition, which I talked about earlier, fear and anxiety, subconscious and premonitions, okay? These are things that you may not even be aware that you're doing, okay? So if you or your person is a water sign, go ahead and drop those water signs in the chat, water signs in the chat. Now, the other person who's involved with this is an earth sign, okay? This, which explains the money. So Taurus, Virgo, Capricorns, where are all my earth signs? If you or your person is an earth sign, go ahead and drop those earth signs in the emojis in the chat. Person B is coming in as the Hierophant, which is also major arcana, okay? But they're coming in reverse. This is about personal beliefs, which goes back to the need to have money, okay? This is about freedom, going against the grain, unconventional, foolish, being generous, fertility, fertility, unorthodox, hypocrisy, blind faith, and misconceptions. All right. Whoo, child. Whew. Y'all ready for this? Because I'm trying to tell you, I want to know, who feels like they've been over here being killed softly here? I have no idea, but let's get into it. Here we go. All right, y'all, let's get these cards do the talking. This is where the energy meets the message. This is where we bring confirmation, clarity, and maybe even a little bit more conviction. All right. We want to let spirit speak and talk to us today. All right. And while y'all are listening, go ahead and hit that like button. Follow me and subscribe. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. All right. What is going on today, spirit, with my water and earth signs? Well, there is definitely a balance here. There is definitely, like I said, it's all love. It's no hate. It's no animosity. It's just a disconnect about how you guys perceive things, okay? And this is life-changing. This is absolutely life-changing. Because in the foundational energy, we have things that are here that will either... Well, let's break it down real quick for those of you who may not be very overly familiar with tarot. You have 3 sets of major arcana. The first set is things that change the way that you perceive or think about things. It's things that make you stronger. And the final batch is that transformative last piece of you that's going through a cycle, okay? And this falls within that transformative cycle, okay? And this falls in the changing of the way that you think cycle. Okay, so you have 2 different buckets of how things are coming together to work for you. All right. So what's going on with my Cancer, Pisces, and Scorpios this morning? Ace of Wands. Okay. Ace of Wands. By going to therapy, talking to others, and getting help, you will start to actually come into an awareness that you really do have some mental blockers that are going to end up costing you this relationship. It feels like you're focused on a lot of things that have nothing to really do with the price of tea in China, okay? Your insecurities, your traumas, your just life issues, right? They are impacting the way that you open up and you receive love, how you give love, because there's a constant need for gratification, validation, and security. There is a constant feeling of rejection and unworthiness in a sense. But it's not coming from this person. Again, I go back to what I said initially about there being a disconnect between love languages, right? So there's like a neediness, there's like a clinginess. And when I say clingy, I'm not saying that in a negative way at all. I'm saying there is a clinginess here, like you want to be around this person, but you can't. And because you can't be around this person, because this person is chronically unavailable, and like if you call them, they're not calling you back. If you text them, they don't always text you back. And it's just like, so then that increases your suspicion. And you're like, well, what was you doing? Why you didn't call me back? Where you been? How was your day? Like you're asking a bunch of freaking questions. And then that person is just like, dang, like, can I even respond without you, you putting me all on defense? And you just like, well, what's so hard about you answering my question?
I want you to answer my question.
So the problem has become where it's like they've kind of withdrawn from you, not because they dislike you, but because it's an irritant for them. It's like, I've been at work all day. I work 12-hour shifts. I've been dealing with all this BS at work all day. I am not trying to come home and listen to you because it comes up as a nagging. And that's what creates an argument of some sort, because it's like, why you just can't answer my question? I don't understand why it took you 8 days to respond. Okay. So there is that level of toxicity here, right? That is like, ugh, you know what I mean? And it's interesting because while that pisses you off, you need that. It's like you crave that level of attention. And when you don't get that level of attention, that's where that distrust comes in. That's where that lack of security comes in. But then it's also like, that's where you need that validation, right? And it's like, you know that you're worthy of love, but you don't feel like you're worthy because you're still holding on to those old trauma bonds.
Damn you!
All right. Now, if you can relate to that, I want you to go ahead and put the moon in the chat. Okay. Now, person B, Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn. You are coming in right now as the Two of Pentacles. Okay. You're making a lot of decisions right now. You're juggling a lot of different priorities. You're up, down, you're left, right, you're upside down, you're twisted, turned all around sometimes. This goes back to you trying to feel like you're going through the flow. Okay. It's like, I'm going with the flow. I'm trying to handle all of my responsibilities. I know that if I'm going to be a provider in this, I have got to be able to show up with money and resources. Again, this goes back to the foundational energy of challenging those personal beliefs, right? Where they feel like they got to have so much money in order to be successful in this. And they're not, again, understanding that relationships are collaborative. Okay. You're not supposed to have all the money. We are supposed to have the savings, right? Especially if you're talking about bigger vision, long-term planning. You got to be strategic, right? So I'll give you this example. Let's say y'all do move in together. Okay. This is a conversation that you need to have. How much of your check goes to you? How much of your check goes to us? And how much of the check goes to whatever other expenses you have, right? So it may be, 10% goes to savings, 25% goes to household. And then that leaves you with 70% of your check left, right? So maybe another, 30% goes to my personal expenses and your personal expenses. And the other 30% goes to like family activities and traveling, however y'all do it, right? That is a way that finances becomes collaborative, and it takes the burden off of one or more people to have all this money for household things. But that's not how they see things. They feel like in order for them to be ready to move in, they got to have all this money in their account. They got to have all these things checked off, and that's just unrealistic. And that's how you look up in life. And I don't know what ethnic community you belong to, but I will tell you, as a Black woman in the Black community, I feel as though, and this is my opinion, which I'm entitled to, I feel like what starts to happen with a lot of Black men, because their focus is similar to this one, okay? They look up, they 50 years old, don't have any kids, never been married, because their focus has been on foundational security, which is not wrong. However, you have been so indoctrinated that you have to have all of these things before you can have love, before you can do it. And you can build those things as you go. Okay, does that make sense? So they have not been conditioned to think that, and they need to unlearn that behavior. But again, this is also a trauma response for them and how they grew up. They probably grew up very poor or lacking money, always feeling like something was going on. So they gained a work ethic at a very early age, just so they could be able to afford some of the things that they can afford. And it was rewarding and comforting for them. So that's why they still have that mentality now. Does that make sense? So if you are resonating with person B, I want you to put some money down in the chat. Okay. I want you to put the money emoji down in the chat. All right. Now, regardless to if you are the water or the earth sign, I want you to also put down in the chat, who do you feel like most today? Person A or person B? Okay. And let me know how this is making you feel right now that I'm calling you to the carpet. Hello. Okay. Now, what is favorable about this situation?
You've got mail.
That was quick. All right. The Five of Swords in reverse. Okay. There is a lot of internal conflict going on up in here right now. And this is where we get into the earworm about this killing you softly. because you're trying to figure out, what does this really mean for me? Like, I love you. I want to be with you. You make me feel good. You give me the warm and fuzzies and all of those good things, right? But I don't trust it. I don't trust it. And it's like, why are you not trusting? What's holding you back from progressing and moving forward and trusting me? Okay? So person B is asking you to trust them, to trust that they're doing the right thing, to trust that they are where they say they are. And person A is like, nice try, homie. I don't think so.
Goodbye.
So every time you come to this person with some nonsense, I'm going to be honest with you, Cancer, Pisces, Scorpio. And remember, the energy can be inverted, okay? Whenever you come to them, they're like, oh, here you go again. Here goes another false claim.
Accusation. False accusation.
Thank you, SJ, for my gift. And it is burning them out. Okay, it is burning them out, and it's exhausting. Similarly, in this instance, this other person is feeling conflicted, which is why they're losing sleep, because they feel like, is this something I even want to continue to be bothered with? If you're going to keep having these trust issues and chronically feeling like I'm intentionally ignoring you when you know I got things to do, things are becoming one-sided and they're detaching, okay? And you don't want them to check out of the relationship, all right? You just don't want them to check out of the relationship, but it's becoming problematic. And it's getting to the point to where they're starting to really tune you out. So if you notice, initially they were a little bit more, being a little bit more responsive. Now it's like they take their time getting back to you, because it's like, what am I in a rush to call you back for when I know it's just about to be an argument about what I've been doing all day?
All a bunch of bullshit.
And let's be clear, it's not that they don't want to talk to you. They don't feel like arguing with you. They do not feel like arguing with you. Like, that's what's creating problems, because they're like, what am I doing that's tripping you up so bad that you over here just getting so irate and all upset, and all I've been doing is going to work all day?
Bombocad.
That's it. Okay? Now, even if they were some shifts in the relationship, okay, even if they did do a little bit more, like calling you on your way there, on their way there, calling you on a lunch break, calling you when they get up, like, do you think that would resolve the issue that is here? And I want you to think about that and write that down in the chat. Would that resolve the issues, the point of contention that is here? Yes or no? And I want you to tell me, why do you feel that way? Write that down in the chat. Think about it and write it down in the chat. Now, what is controversial or consequential or problematic to this relationship? That's too many cards, Spirit. But I'm going to take them. That's not the card I'm about to pull, though. I'm just looking at the cards and see what they say. We got the High Priestess here. The Three of Wands in reverse. The Emperor. The King of Cups. The Ten of Pentacles in reverse. The Three of Pentacles in reverse. And the Two of Swords. Yeah. Both of you guys are undecided about how to proceed to move forward, which goes back to what I said initially about there being a disconnect in this relationship. All right. This is creating all kind of problems. Like, granted, it is, this is a multi-layered issue that is starting to unravel. It's starting to expose. So, like, what I mean by that is, when you're with this person, everything is good. And when you're not with them, you feel like this immense disconnect. And you can't necessarily put your finger on what that looks like.
We're sorry. You have reached a number that has been disconnected or is no longer in service. We're sorry. You have reached a number that has been disconnected or is no longer in service.
And I'm telling you, they're almost, I feel like they want to be petty and block you. I feel like they want to be petty and block you just to teach you a lesson, to get you to ease up. Okay, they just want to kind of get you to ease up, like chill. But it's not even about that. This person is very attractive. They're very charismatic. They're the type of person, you know, I don't like this expression, but when people say, you know, they never met a stranger, that's how this person is. Like their energy, when they come around, people warm up to them, people talk to them. They're just like people. And so that gives way for concern when it really shouldn't be a concern. Okay, it really shouldn't be a concern. Now, what is problematic or controversial about this connection? The Hierophant. Okay? Going back to how do you proceed to move forward? How do you elevate? How do you grow? Okay? And this is a challenge, okay? Because there lacks wisdom and insights on how to proceed to move forward. You guys, again, have talked about bigger picture, final outcomes. I want to be with you. I want to get married. I want to live together. We on the same page about these things. But where the disconnect lies is getting on the same page about what the preliminary things look like in order for you to work your way to get to this point. Okay? Dino says, this is low-key tripping me out how correct you're being. It's a blocker, right? Because when you guys are together, it is everything. But because they have their beliefs about money, when they have their beliefs about what the future looks like, they're being a leader, they're being authoritative, right? They're controlling the narrative. But the problem is that you have one person who is overtly insecure because of past traumas, and that is causing you, what kind of bug that is, but that is causing you some concern. And you're walking around here looking like they're doing something wrong, but really they're not doing anything wrong. They're focused on their focus, and you just need to leave them alone. But instead, you walking around here overly examining everything.
That's suspicious. That's weird.
And that's what's causing the discomfort, okay? That's what's causing the discomfort. Now, this is a challenge. Because how do you proceed to move forward? How do you proceed to go before your friends and your family and get married and know how to put down these burdens and be able to move together, okay? And be progressive when you know you just there is no trust, okay? And the reality is this is very concerning because it's starting to make this person shut down, and it's starting to give you the response that you don't want to experience, okay? Deanna says, I literally just scrolled upon you and you're calling my out. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Aries Queen says, wow, needed to hear this, all right? Raquel says, very accurate, all right? So what is this trying to teach you, okay? And while I do that, I want you to tell me, if things were to legitimately continue down this path, what do you think would happen? Do you think that things will course correct? Do you think that you and this person will be together? Like, what do you think would legitimately happen if y'all continue down this path? Or do you feel like y'all won't be together no more? Think about it and write that down in the chat. Now, what is favorable, okay, about this? I'm sorry, not favorable. What is this trying to teach you? You got to go with the flow. Okay, you got to go with the flow. You got to trust. You are being guided. Things are going to work. But you have to surrender. Okay, you have to surrender. And this is where we confront the deeper meaning behind the why. And this is where Spirit is telling you You can't go with the flow, okay? You can't trust and be at peace if you keep on trying to hold on to things that are not serving you. It is time for you to come out of this place of heaviness, and coming out of this place of darkness, coming out of this place of chronically feeling like, you know, everybody is out to get you, right? That's not what this is about. This person is your person. This person is here to walk with you towards your forever and your destiny, right? But if you're not trusting of them in the simple things, how are you going to trust them in a relationship? If you're not trusting that they really at work when they say they at work, how you going to ever get to the point of trusting when they go down to the grocery store that that's where they are, without you going off on the deep end about some stuff that ain't even true? Like, you're almost hallucinating and making up scenarios just to have something to talk about. Okay? It is a chronic insecurity. Okay? And if you don't go get the help that you need professionally, and I ain't talking about calling your mama and them, because they gonna tell you whatever you want to hear. Okay? Groupthink is a real thing. You calling your mama and them talking about how this person made you feel, guess what they gonna do? Right, girl, I know that's right. Okay? You not about to get no correction that way. Your mama and your sister and them, your cousin and them, your BFF and them, they just gonna be on the phone like, okay? They're not going to help you. Raquel says, I believe we will be together, but I have to stop disconnecting with him when he works too much and a little time for us or the family. Okay. So this is like a real big issue. This is a real big problem. Okay. And Spirit is trying to show you today, you got to let go. You got to let go. This ain't that toxic thing that you had a couple years ago. This ain't, this ain't that. This is not that. Okay, you got to let this go and let this person do what they need to do. Okay, and you got to learn how to trust. And I know for some of you, it is just like,
What?
but you got to trust. Okay, you got to trust. Now, what advice could you give yourself? And let's be honest, what advice could you give yourself? If you are your future self, what advice would you give yourself about the person that you are now? And I want you to think about that and put that down in the chat. What you need to do to heal. Okay? With this Page of Pentacles, you got to focus on your focus. You got to focus on what is important for you. Okay? You got to focus and be inspired about what type of relationship you have with the person that you have it with. Okay. And I'm saying that because so many times we get all caught up in things where we don't learn how to go with the flow. And going with the flow is hard. Let's be clear. That is very difficult to just go with the freaking flow. Okay. But when I say go with the flow, I mean understand that this person is not here to hurt you. This person is here to be their best version of themselves for you. Okay? They're here to do all of these things for you. And you got to make a choice and a decision to decide whether or not this is going to be a blessing for you or not. And trust me, if you would just to ease up just a little bit, you will see the beauty that falls with this. But instead, you walking around here so much on edge, expecting disaster all the time, and that's not healthy either.
What the fuck was that?
Okay? Dino says, I need to stop overthinking and stop overanalyzing, and that is very true, right? So there is a lot of overthinking here, but it's all about expectations. Okay? It's all about expectations here. And needing to have real conversations, okay? Needing to have, Aries Queen says, I just went off on him for not calling me back in a timely manner. Now I feel bad. Sorry, girl. All right. Now, what do you need to do? Got the Fool card in reverse. Stop thinking about this from a place of naivety. Stop thinking that you're being I mean, like, you know, how do I say this? We know that you seasoned. We know that you have experienced a lot of hardships, and that is not lost on us, that you have had very hard, difficult, traumatic circumstances and things to happen in your life. Aww. We all have something that has made us feel inadequate, insecure, violated, unworthy, untrusting, all of those different things. We've all been there before, right? But here's the thing. I go back to what I initially said. If you don't work on yourself to get yourself together, you are going to end up losing the one thing that is familiar and comfortable to you. You're going to end up losing that one thing because they're going to get so irritated and so intolerant of this. This is part of the reason why they're not jumping to move forward quickly in this connection. It's not because they don't want to. It's because they're afraid of who they're going to become if they continue to go down this path with you under these circumstances. So remember when I said earlier, okay, it's no love lost. You love them, they love you. It's all love when y'all together, but there's a disconnect. And I said this earlier in the beginning of this reading. It feels to me like there is a breakage in a relationship so that you can work on you, they can work on them, so that you guys can come back together for the bigger picture, okay? So that's what Spirit is saying. You cannot continue to make these bad decisions and look at it as, oh, I'm being naive, I'm being gullible. No. You have to change your perspective and say, I'm looking at this from a place of trust. I know that I am being guided. I know that I'm being protected. What is for me will be for me. And I don't have to walk around here being suspicious of everything.
Bruh.
Okay? That's where we are with this. Now, at the bottom of the deck, we have the Knight of Swords in reverse. Okay? Now, what's interesting is that I feel like the message that is coming out today for you is going to invigorate you to want to move a little bit better. I definitely feel like this is going to call you to think about things differently. I do feel like this is going to call you to the carpet, right? And make you want to prepare yourself to fight for what it is that you want. But it's not so much as a fight for what it is that you want by you going to them. This is about you fighting for what you want by starting with you. If you don't overcome these negative, toxic emotions and traits and work on your trauma, okay, this is going to blow up very badly, and it's going to cost you a major love of your life, a major soulmate. And it's going to disrupt who you're supposed to be in life if you don't get this under control. Okay? That's where we are with this. You have got to work on yourself right now. You have got to do the work. You have got to pay attention to you. Raquel says, working on giving myself more energy to myself before sharing it with someone else. If it's meant to be, it will be, but not right now. Okay? Yeah, this is about you working on yourself. This is about you healing yourself. All right? Now, let me ask you this. What feelings or emotions do you feel like you really need to process and acknowledge right now? I want you to name it in the chat. I want you to feel it, and I want you to release it. If it's insecurity, just say that. Okay? Just say, I feel insecure. Feel what that feels like and release it, because you deserve to be secure. I hope I pronounced this right. Danasia, Hayes says, I told my husband that I want to work on myself and he didn't understand. Okay. Yeah. It's a lot. It's a lot. All right. Now, let's clarify this. We got the Magician in reverse. Okay. These behaviors, these traits are becoming so toxic that it's almost a form of manipulation. And here's why. They know that you're going to be tripping. They know that you are going to go off. They don't want to hear it. So it's almost like you're saying and doing something just to get a reaction out of them, because that's how you know that they're still checked in. But really, you're forcing them to check out. This has become very manipulative, which goes back to the fighting, the trust issues being one-sided, okay? This is also perpetuating an insecurity within them because they're worrying, replaying events about you, losing sleep, which exacerbates the issue. You're making someone feel insecure that never felt insecure before.
God damn. What?
You see how this is working? And this is becoming so problematic because this is convoluting and tainting the relationship that you're in. And this is why you're at this impasse. Honestly, this is it. With this Eight of Swords, okay? It's time for you to take a deep look in the mirror. It's time for you to reflect and assess on the things that are keeping you bound in this frame of mind, in this pattern, this holding pattern. And it's time for you to take action. It's time for you to work on these issues, right? And it's time for you to release it because this is becoming toxic. This is becoming so unattractive, which is where you're probably journaling a lot more and trying to burn it. Okay, you might be writing letters to this person, journaling your feelings, and because you want to release it, you may have been trying to like burn the letters after you write them, burn your feelings, burn your emotions, like just trying to get it out and release it. And here's the thing. The inner you is facing, the inner you is trying to turn a blind eye, like it's a barrier. There is some resistance here. There's obstacles, there are barriers, right? These are mental blockers, okay, that you don't want to see, right? But the new version of you is calling the insecure, broken person in you to the carpet and is trying to release this, which is why you need to go get help professionally, right? This is where you need to release it. You need to, get to that point, all right, where you can evolve and become who you need to evolve and become, okay? And this is where you have to be comfortable with yourself, to give yourself grace and to give yourself some love and admiration and compassion, right? To say, yes, what I've been through in my lifetime was hard. It was difficult. It was challenging. No child, no young person should have to deal with this and deal with this alone. However, the young girl in me, the little girl in me, the little boy in me is safe. You are loved. You are respected. You are admired. You are cared for. And I have to release that fear that you've built up. And we all got our own traumatic things that we are dealing with. Okay? We all do. So you could sit around here and cry why all day. It happened. It is what it is. It's not happening now. And you have got to process those feelings so that you can move to a healthier state. Because these feelings, you're doing it as a protective mechanism to protect your heart, to protect your feelings, and to protect your emotions. And really, this is so destructive. This is what's causing chronic suffering for you and for your person. Okay? So you got to deal with this. Like, you got to confront this heads on. Okay? Because this is killing your confidence with this Queen of Wands in reverse. All right? This is killing your confidence. This is taking away all of your power. This is making you victimized all over again. If you don't work on the issues that are concerning you, this is what's going to continue to victimize you over and over and over again. And that's where the problem lies. That's exactly where the problem lies. It's not because they're doing anything to you. You're kind of like preparing yourself for if and when they do it to you, and that they're not that person. They are truly who they say they are, doing exactly what they said that they are doing. Okay? Being exactly where they're being. And this is killing your confidence. This is killing your confidence in them because you're over here just like, why you not calling me back? This is making you create a narrative in your head that ain't even happening. They be like, oh, hold on a second. This is literally my mom on the phone. They on the phone with you doing like this. They like, hold on a second. It's my mom. They clicking over and you over here. This ain't your mama. You on the phone with some little raggedy bitch. You been on the phone with this hoe for the last 17 seconds. The fuck you on the phone? That's your mind. Okay? That's your mind. You going all off on the deep end, and it's really their mom on the phone, for example. Okay? And then when they click back over, you over here being cynical. That's funny. And they don't even know what you're talking about. And now you done created a whole argument about a whole narrative that didn't even exist. Don't exist. Didn't even happen. This is why you got to chill. Because everybody's not out to get you. We got the devil. We got the devil. These attachments that you have, both of you guys actually, they have an unhealthy attachment to money and possessions that they don't realize and acknowledge. You have an unhealthy attachment to your past and your traumas and all of that. Again, there's a healthy break here. If you guys don't get back in, focus, and work on your own issues separately, you're never going to come back together as a couple, as a whole. So you got to be focused on the here and now, but also keep the end goal in mind. Okay, you also got to keep the end goal in mind. But if you guys want to proceed to grow and to evolve and become long-term and stable and healthy and vibrant, both of y'all are going to have to let go of those burdens, those negative traits and things, those issues that are keeping you bounded and keeping you confused. You're going to have to let those things go. All right? You're going to have to let those things go. Whew. That was kind of heavy. Now, if this message is resonating with you, I want us to all, whether or not it's resonating with you, you just here listening, cross-watching, whatever. Let us breathe through these truths together. And if something hits you, okay, I want you to go ahead and drop the candle emoji down in the chat, because this is about you reclaiming your light, reclaiming your joy, reclaiming your energetic space, right? Now, as we prepare to respectfully get out this business, I want you to put those paper, pen, notebook emojis in the chat, because I'm curious to know, how is this story going to end? Because see, right here, you got two people walking around here acting like they don't care, acting like they not bothered, acting like they don't see what's going on, just acting checked out and about to miss out. Okay, checked out and about to miss out. All right, so here we go, y'all. All right. As we respectfully prepare to step out of this business and we land at the potential final outcome, I do say potential because I want you to remember that free will is always at play. Okay? Spirit may show us the path, but it's still up to us to take it. All right? So, what is the potential final outcome here? Five of Swords. If you don't get control of your issues will get control of you. Okay? And I feel like your higher self is calling this out very loud and clear today. Either you deal with your problems or your problems will deal with you. It's that simple. It's that simple. Okay? You are ignoring your intuition, which is why that card came up here. This is why we're talking about leaving things where they be and how they be, where they need to be there. But honest to God, if you don't get yourself together, you will succumb to this. This conflict and this tension, this anxiety, this grief is going to overtake you if you do not get a hold of your issues. And I am telling you today, right now, surely today is Friday, you need to go get some professional help and therapy for the things that are still prolonging your progression and your growth. Everybody is not out to get you. This person really does love and care about you. They really sincerely do. They really want to be with you. They really want to see things through. They know what you've been through. It is not within their intention and it's not within their heart's desires to trigger you in the ways that you are being triggered. But the question is, are they triggering you for real, or are you triggering yourself? I mean, that's the real question. You just so sensitive. Thank you, Spirit. Y'all know how y'all have cameras like at your door, like Ring especially, and you know, every time something goes by, it's so sensitive, it picks up everything. Everything. The wind blow too hard, it picks it up, right? Spirit saying you being hypersensitive to every little thing when every little thing is not an issue. You being on alert about everything. Everything. Every time you turn around, the alert is going off. And the question is, why? Is that even necessary? Nobody is at your door. Nobody is at your door. But every time you turn around, and that's how you're responding to this person that is in your life. This is how you're responding. And it's unhealthy. It is very much so unhealthy. So you have got to get control of your emotions. If you don't get control of your feelings and your emotions and deal with your trauma is going to come back to deal with you. It's that simple. Okay, Bella said, I just got the confirmation and understanding that I need. I paraphrased. We got the Hierophant in reverse. Okay? It's time for you to overcome these personal beliefs about life, about love, about relationships. This is about you. Okay? You can't manipulate people to respond how you want them to respond. You can't do any of that. All right? The people who are going to want to be with you are going to want to be with you, period. They're not going to compromise you or this. They're not going to do any of those things. This is that imbalance that I talked about. This is where you got to get a control of it. There is an imbalance here between your ego and your emotions. Whew, this ain't good. And for some of you, you're lying to yourself, and nobody can lie to you better than you can lie to yourself. But for some of you guys, you have lied to yourself so much and told yourself that you didn't have any issues, that this is normalcy for you. Baby, no, it's not. No, it is not. You are so sensitive to every little thing. And I'm telling you now, just like others have told you in the past, this ain't the first time that you've heard this. You need help.
Oh my God.
And I'm not saying that in a negative, dismissive, condescending way. I'm telling you because that's what Spirit is coming through and saying. That's what the cards have said. That's what I'm confirming. It is time for you to go and get the professional help that you need to work through your issues. And I am telling you right now that if you fail to do so, your lack of decision will result in there being a chronic imbalance in your life for the rest of your life. And you might look up and nobody's going to want to be around you because it becomes toxic. Okay? It's going to become toxic. Nobody's going to want to be bothered with you like that. Nobody. You got to go get help. You got to go get help. Blue Streaming Yoga says, I learned a lot about myself in therapy. Aries Queen says, true. My friend told me this earlier. Yeah. Yeah. Like if you don't go get the help that you need, child, you're going to be in an out of control situation. And it's not going to end well. Like it's just not. You have to stop doing this to yourself. You owe it to yourself to take back your power. To go back to that day, that moment, that hour, whatever that event that was so catastrophic that has robbed you of your joy and of your peace and of your sanity. You need to go back to that moment. And you need to dig into what was so unjust and fix that. Because this is stressing you out. We already got the losing sleep card here for your person. But this is also going to do the same thing for you. It's also going to cause chronic, continuous anxiety and depression. Because you're going to end up losing out on the person that God has for you. Because you won't do the work. Everybody got issues. Even a therapist has a therapist. Okay? And if you don't feel like you're getting the help that you need, not all therapists are good therapists. Not every therapist or counselor is the therapist or counselor that you need.
It is what it is. It is what it is.
I met somebody who told me they was in therapy for 8 years. It was like, I've done the work. I've been in therapy for 8 years. And I'm sitting here listening like, and what have you learned in 8 years? What work have you done? Because it's not reflective in your actions and your behaviors right now. And as somebody who goes to therapy every week, I'm in therapy. First thing Monday morning, therapy. I don't care what nobody say. Been in therapy for what, 5 years straight now? Okay. And I'm telling you, when you get checked in therapy about your behaviors, I can tell you what your therapist probably is and is not saying. Now, granted, I don't think that you're necessarily talking about me when you go to therapy, but you should be talking about you. And you should be talking about these issues because I know these issues have come up more than once.
I'm not afraid to say it.
So if somebody is doing the work, there should be some fruit of and evidence of them doing the work. But if you don't get control of your issues and your emotions, you about to lose out. And I don't think that that's really a risk that you're willing to take. Just like you're willing to fight for this love, you need to be willing to fight for yourself. Don't you see that you're worth it? Don't you know that you're worth it? Fight for you in the same way you're willing to fight for them. Whew. How does this outcome make you feel? Does it sound like what you thought? Did it confirm, bring relief, some excitement, some hesitation? Like, what are you thinking this morning? I want you to write that down in the chat or post that down in the comment section below. Because I want you to confront what you're feeling, what you're thinking, and allow this to be your chance to choose your growth over your fear and your alignment over ego and peace over confusion. Okay? That's where we are. I hope this was helpful because I don't feel the need to go further than here. I think we know where the issues are. I think Spirit has been very clear and very transparent in the message for today. And I hope that it resonates with you. And I hope it pushes you to become the better person that I know that you're capable of being. Okay? So with that being said, I want to thank you so much for tuning in to PiSeas Tarot with me, your girl, Mimi Lightseer. If today's reading moved you and helped you or even called you out with love, don't forget to subscribe and give me a thumbs up and drop a comment in the section below and let me know what resonated. Remember, this reading is timeless, so you can come back to it whenever you need a little bit of guidance, perspective, or just a spiritual reset. All right? So you can copy and paste and save this link right now if you're watching on YouTube. And you will come back to it later. Now, if you want to do a one-on-one booking reading with me, I'm currently booking at PiSeas Tarot. Don't be shy. Spirit may have something to say just for you. But here's a disclaimer. I would never solicit you for a personal reading. Okay, I would never solicit you for a personal reading. While personal readings are available, please note that bookings are only secure and based on availability at PiSeasTarot.com. Always ensure you're interacting with official channels to avoid any potential scams. All right. Now, I want to say, welcome to all of my new subscribers. Welcome to the pod. And if you're a returning guppy, thank you for your continued support and allowing me to be the heartbeat. Well, thank you for being the heartbeat of this space, but allowing me to come into your life and to be able to be here as a form, I don't want to say a spiritual coach, but essentially that's what that's what came to mind. Anyway, to everyone who has gifted me, okay, I had 7 people to gift me today, and I want to say thank you so much. Thank you for gifting me not only your time, but your talents and your treasures, okay? I am so grateful, and I thank you for pouring into this sacred space, all right? You didn't have to work 15 minutes just to buy me a flower. You know, you didn't have to do none of that, but you did, and I appreciate it, all right? Now, everyone is fighting a battle that you cannot see. So be kind, be gentle, and be patient with others as much as you are yourself. How people treat you is not your business, but how you respond is. Okay? It's that simple. That is where your power lies. So leave a little bit of love everywhere you go, and I will see you next time. Bye-bye.